It was a quiet flight from Los Angeles to New York when passengers noticed a petite blonde woman quietly staring out the window, tears in her eyes. She looked familiar, almost too familiar. Only later would they realize it was Charlene Tilton, the once glittering star of Dallas, lost in thought, haunted by memories of fame, heartbreak, and the life that fame had taken away from her. Her story wasn't one of constant glamour, but of resilience, of a woman who rose from nothing, found the world's spotlight, and then faced the lonely silence when it faded away. Her story began on December 1, 1958, in San Diego, California. Raised by a single mother who struggled to keep them afloat, Charlene's early years were filled with instability. Her father had left before she could even speak his name, and her mother, battling her own demons, often left young Charlene to fend for herself. Yet even in those dark, uncertain days, there was something luminous about her. Teachers would later recall the spark in her eyes, that raw mix of innocence and determination that seemed destined for the screen. As a teenager, Charlene dreamed big. She worked odd jobs, auditioned for commercials, and even studied acting at the prestigious Hollywood High School, where her classmates included future stars. She was small, barely 5 feet tall, but her presence was magnetic. Every time she walked into an audition room, she carried the hope that this could be the moment someone finally saw her not as another blonde girl, but as a star. That moment arrived when she landed her first small television roles in the mid-1970s. But it was in 1978, when she was cast as Lucy Ewing on Dallas, that everything changed. The world fell in love with the mischievous niece of J.R. Ewing, a role that seemed tailor-made for her. Charlene's combination of charm, vulnerability, and rebellious energy made Lucy unforgettable. Overnight, she went from a struggling actress to a household name. The girl who once shared a one-bedroom apartment with her mother now found herself on magazine covers, walking red carpets, and attending glamorous Hollywood parties. But fame can be both a gift and a trap. Behind the bright lights and champagne smiles, Charlene struggled with isolation. She was young, barely in her 20s, surrounded by people twice her age in an industry built on illusions. She longed for love and stability, something real beyond the cameras. In 1981, she thought she had found it when she married country singer Johnny Lee, known for the hit "Lookin' for Love." For a moment, life seemed picture-perfect. But the marriage was short-lived, ending after just 2 years. The tabloids had a field day, but the truth was simple. Charlene's heart had been broken. When she became a mother in 1982 to her beloved daughter, Cherish, it brought her back to life. For the first time, she had something, and someone, real to hold on to. But just as she began to settle into motherhood, Dallas changed direction, and her character's presence on the show began to fade. The calls slowed. The fame dimmed. Hollywood moved on. It was one of the cruel realities of the business. Yesterday's sweetheart could become today's forgotten name. Still, Charlene refused to let the silence swallow her. She worked tirelessly in theater, appeared in smaller TV projects, and even released a few pop songs in the UK, where her fans still adored her. But behind that fighting spirit, life had more heartbreaks in store. The man she later fell deeply in love with, cinematographer Chetty Hart, became her greatest support, until tragedy struck. In 2009, Chetty suffered a sudden heart attack and passed away. Charlene was devastated. She called it the darkest chapter of her life, a time when grief threatened to consume her completely. Yet, true to form, she rose again. In interviews years later, she would speak openly about her faith, her daughter, and her passion for helping others struggling with addiction and depression. She had known pain intimately and wanted to use her story to bring light to others still trapped in it. She became involved in outreach programs, mentoring young people who dreamed of stardom but didn't realize the emotional toll that came with it. When Dallas was revived in 2012, Charlene returned to her iconic role as Lucy Ewing. Stepping back onto that familiar set decades later, she described it as coming home. The cameras rolled, and for a moment, time stood still. It wasn't just nostalgia, it was redemption. She had survived the storm and found peace in embracing her past rather than running from it. In her later years, Charlene focused on simple joys, family, spirituality, and giving back. She often reflected on how the young girl who once felt invisible had touched millions around the world. She knew that beauty fades, fame fades, but kindness and resilience never do. Even now, rare personal photos from her early life reveal the contrast of her journey, the bright smiles masking the private battles. The glamorous dresses hiding a heart that had endured so much. Those private moments, the ones the world never saw, tell the truest story. The young actress who once looked out an airplane window with tears in her eyes wasn't mourning what she lost. She was remembering what she survived. Every heartbreak, every rejection, every betrayal shaped the woman she became, strong, grounded, and deeply human. Today, Charlene Tilton remains a symbol of what it means to rise, fall, and rise again. Her name might forever be linked to Dallas, but her real legacy lies beyond the screen, in her courage to keep going, in her faith that life always offers second chances. So, as we look back on the golden days of Hollywood and the faces that once defined them, let's remember Charlene Tilton not just for her beauty or her fame, but for her unbreakable spirit. Her story reminds us that even when the spotlight fades, true light comes from within. If you were touched by Charlene's incredible journey, from heartbreak to hope, don't forget to like this video, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe for more stories of the stars who shaped an era.